action for a little while, working hard on the hash kettles. Going to be looking at some old comments and replying to them and answering any questions that you might have. So first, I'm just going to be loading up my hash kettle right here. A little bit of a morning brew. So I'm just going to create a little bit of a U shape with my hash that I made in my spaghetti one. Light up both ends to a cherry. Boom. Drop it in there. Get my lid on. And starts brewing away. So today we're going to be answering some questions and reviewing some comments that I've gotten, because it's quite a lot here, and it's been a while since I came online. So let's take a look at some questions here while we get some people in the room. Let's go right up to the newest comments. Not on my newest video. All right. So good ways to smoke pot indoors while without your parents knowing. Well, you could use a towel and a sploof. The problem with that was when I was living at home 20 years ago, it still created a smoke. So my mom would walk into the room and notice that the air quality wasn't quite good enough, but it didn't smell like weed. So that is why that didn't work for me. A few years ago, I dropped a 9mm thick China bong, and I didn't drop my 3.2mm roar bong. And somebody made a comment saying, "You really just get what you pay for." Of course, I wasn't going to drop the roar bong. That wasn't the point of the video. The point of the video was that both of them would have broken if they landed on the floor. And a China 9mm bong was essentially the same price as the 3.2mm roar bong. So what are you actually paying for? Just a little bit more extra glass, but not a better quality piece. In a video, I claimed that smoking cannabis didn't damage your lungs like it did tobacco. I said that over time there would be zero damage to your lungs. I stand by that. In the short term, it does build up a little bit of resin in your lungs. However, that resin quickly is absorbed by your body. Therefore, after about 4 to 6 weeks, for a heavy smoker, that damage will be sort of reversed, and no long-term effects from what we've been able to find in researches. How can I see comments? I can't see comments. Live chat. Okay, here we go. And had a question. Would there be any risk of hash melting in the kettle? So the hash warms up very, very slightly. So if the hash is super gooey, I would recommend a thicker snake that is in a perfect U and lighting both sides to burn up. And then that way the sticky part will just be on top of the bar, and you can just remove that and attach it to a snake later on. And that's true, yes. You are inhaling smoke, and smoke is inherently bad for your lungs. However, in comparison to tobacco, it really is a non-issue in my opinion, and the opinion of my doctor, who's told me that I shouldn't need to worry about it even as an asthmatic. Do I own this design, or are you making your own kettle type glass? So, I mean, in glass, you never own anything. Anybody could rip me off at any moment. I am, however, kind of proud that this device is sort of my creation. So anybody else making something similar would be ripping me off as far as I'm aware. Um, and it is an exclusively available through Hashco. So if anything, Hashco owns it. So it's an exclusive product through Hashco that we came up with. So the origination of this device, the hash kettle, one of the old ways that old timers would smoke their hash in bars would be they would take their cocktail glass and they would fold a bill or a cigarette over the middle of the cocktail glass, and they would hang their hash over that and cover it with the the coaster that was on the dirty table, and they would use a plastic straw to draw off of that. Like many things cannabis related, back in the day, that was totally acceptable and nobody would have any issues with it. However, in 2022, we wanted to upgrade it into a little bit more of a classy thing, something that was a little bit cleaner, something that you could clean, that you could reuse, and that looked really nice. The hash kettle is fucking amazing. I'm smoking so much hash through it. I just fucking love it. Cool. But on the topic of hash, one of my most viewed videos at the moment is a good way to how to smoke, how to roll a hash joint that will smoke perfectly. And in this video, I show you how to essentially turn your hash into a very fine dust that will mix very easily into a very small amount of cannabis. I tried to make it a 75-25% ratio, and it burned completely fine for me. And some of the comments that I'm getting are like, oh yeah, but for a super resinous um, hash, this wouldn't work. And you have to remember that I made this video 10 years ago when, and I made it in relation to the type of hash that I could get at the time. So of course, times have changed, and some of my older videos just really aren't as relevant as they used to be, unfortunately. But hey, I think it's still good information to leave up, so I'm not going to delete them. This is a really great comment here. I have a video where I roll a 1 pound joint, and a 1 pound joint. This is 500 grams of weed, and someone's comment is dirt weed. Like fuck yeah, I'm not gonna spend $3,000 on a pound of quads to roll into a pound joint that's probably gonna get dried up, wasted, and it's gonna taste like shit. I ended up extracting that and got a couple grams from it. It was like $100 or $200 pound of weed. Like, what do you expect from it? Uh, Morning, I just wanted to say, been a long time fan, rolling your vids and stealth, smoking vids from way back. Help, yeah, exactly. And, so 15 years ago when I started my channel here, I started it because, well, I actually started it because I watched somebody roll a 1 ounce joint on YouTube, and I was like, the fuck? I can roll 100 joints with that and be high for a week. And that's exactly what I did. So that was my first video that I posted onto YouTube. And then after that, I sort of realized that my smoking experience, my cannabis smoking experience, was sort of naive. I had nobody to teach me, and it was all just sort of found out on the go. Different friends giving me information and all of that, and I felt that I wanted to put together a place where you could come and find lots of great cannabis smoking information and answers to questions that you might have as a young cannabis smoker. Now, one of the downsides to that is that I get questions like, "Oh man, I've been watching your videos since I was 13, and it taught me how to roll." And I'm like, "Ooh, I taught a 13-year-old how to smoke joints. That's not exactly what I had in mind." But at the same point, like, well, whatever, fuck it. Like, I don't think cannabis is a bad drug as long as you do it responsibly and like if you keep going to school and all that shit. Don't drop out of school to be a pothead. That's just the number one bad thing to do. That's the gateway drug. If you smoke weed and go to school, like, great, who gives a shit? Um, on my video, good way to smoke pot indoors without your parents knowing. So this is one of my favorite ones, my favorite videos that I've posted, and get it. Pretty much the number one comment on that video is, just make things easier on you. If you're smoking a joint or something, just go outside, bro. It's like, yeah, well, obviously that's a great idea. But when I was living at home when I was, 18, 19 years old, um, if I was going outside at 2 in the morning, opening the front door and just going outside for 10 minutes, my mom would be like, why are you going outside? And she would catch on really quick. So therefore, it's not a stealth way to smoke. So fantastic if your parents are chill with you smoking your weed. But at the time, my parents were not. However, now my parents are a-okay with me smoking my weed. Why? Well, mostly because I make a living off of making things like this. And they're just like, wow, you can do that? That's super cool. So they really have no choice but to be proud of me. All right, more comments. All right, extracting keef. Simple, easy, homemade method. This is a great one. Half quarter. Someone's making fun of me for saying half quarter. Now, I live here in um, interesting. Uh, it is on Wi-Fi, yeah. I don't know why it would interfere when I go close. I think maybe it's just the autofocus goes off on it. Sorry, I'll try to stay more still. The problem is that the comments keep going off the screen, so I can't see them. Really kind of fucking annoying. So on this extracting keef, simple, easy, homemade method, someone goes half quarter, and they're making fun of me for using the term half quarter. Um, that's a Canadian thing. We've always said it like that, or at least here in Toronto. Don't live in Toronto anymore, actually. I'm just outside of Kingston. Got a beautiful fucking 10-acre yard. Oh, big forest. Beautiful. Audio, too. Yeah, half quarter. I don't know. It's an eighth. So, I don't know. It's just lingo. I think I have it set right now. I might be set up right now. It hasn't disappeared in a while. Oh, here you go. A nice positive comment on how to roll hash that will smoke perfectly. Awesome idea in vid. Just tried this and it worked really well for me. Wow, amazing. Congratulations. Wait, it disappeared. Live chat. I don't know how to use this live chat shit. This is kind of crazy. All right. World's smallest functional bong. Prove me wrong. You would probably get a lot of water in your mouth. There was like a drop of water in the damn thing altogether. You weren't gonna get a lot of water in your mouth. Yeah, I'm a Canadian kid. So what? The hand glasses. I still got them somewhere. I found them when I was packing to move out here, and I stashed them. I kept them. All right. Glass blowing video. Looks like it's good. Ah, it keeps disappearing. What the fuck? Oh shit. The Mr. Allen the Ninja. How did you get the rolling card from the dragon? Are you local to Toronto? Wow, a lot of comments on good way to smoke pot indoors. Oh crap, and did I send it to you? That's sick. Ah, wicked, man. Yeah, fuck the dragon though. Hey, this is wicked. Um, Almost wasted $8 for a rolling machine. Tried the card with a perfect roll. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna answer this one right here. Whatever happened to the stuff you were gonna do for the dragon? I remember you made a couple vids for a glass shop, but nothing much more. Uh, all right, so let's talk about the dragon. The dragon was run by people who I thought were friends of mine, and I called upon them when I was in a time of need. I had lost my long-term job as a manager at the private club that I worked at. And one second, I'm going to try to get comments on the screen here. Um, what the hell happened here? Okay, I'm really stoned, by the way. Oh my God, what's going on over here? Um, Sorry guys. MastahRolla. There we go. Search there we go. All right, now I'm live here. We're gonna mute that right there. All right, let's come down to the comments. All right. Movie theater, wasn't it? Um, all right. All right. Whatever happened to the stuff you were going to do for the dragon? You made a couple vids for a glass shop, but not much more. So I lost my job and I was in need of a job for a couple of months until I got everything glass related set up. And I took a job with them. And they knew I was selling some glass on the side while I was working for them. I always made sure that I would never sell to their customers. And then once my glass became popular and successful and I was able to make a living off of it, I informed them that I was going to be quitting, and they dropped a $25,000 lawsuit on my ass. So fuck you. They also stole $1,000 worth of glass from me. So I went to my own lawyer and paid them $300 for an hour of their time to get the $25,000 bullshit lawsuit thrown out the window. However, I was informed that to get the $1,000 worth of glass that they had stolen from me, it would cost me about $1,000. So I said a big fuck you to the dragon and moved on. It's been about 7 years since I've really talked about them on any video this publicly, and honestly, they really kind of screwed me in a time when I was just getting on my feet. So that's why I sort of haven't mentioned or talked about them since. And yeah, there you go. I remember watching your videos way before I ever smoked. Hope you're doing good. Oh man, I'm doing fantastic. I actually just well, 2 years ago now, I moved to the country. I live on 9 acres of basically forested land north of Kingston, Ontario. We have a beautiful 800 square foot glass shop I have a great 2-bedroom apartment. We got ATVs. We have 2 kilometers of trails through our forests. Really, I'm living the dream right now. And since working with Hashco, it has made my life that much even better because I'm not stressing about finding the buyers for my glass. I just simply make the glass and boom, it goes. Um, ah, and Mr. Allen the Ninja says, "Do you still do the oil meetups?" So I used to run Throwdown, Masterclass, Concentrate Series Throwdowns, where we had 4 to 6 extract artists come together in a group. And in this group, we would allow people to sample up to 30 different types of extracts at a time over the course of like 3 hours. And they would judge live with tokens, and we would declare a winner at the end. We held over 77 of these events, and boy, was it a lot of fun. But unfortunately, the atmosphere here in Canada really, really started to change um, about 3 or 4 years ago when the legal market really started to take over. And of course, at that point, the government is saying, no, 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 you can't do this kind of shit. We need to make our money and our tax money off of this stuff. So a lot of our competitors, um, some of which are now running Hashco, which is the company that I'm working with on my hash kettles, which is super exciting. They're a legacy a couple legacy people that worked in the legacy market, as we call it, before they joined the legal market. So it was really exciting times, but times changed and we had to adapt. So unfortunately, we don't host those anymore. Man, this is such a good way to smoke hash. It's so enjoyable. It's like an auto lit pipe. You just keep going and going and going. A keef kettle. All right, let's talk about a keef kettle. How would you go about maintaining the keef lit inside the kettle? Like, I guess you could make like a screen, but the keef just would go out. A keef puck. Okay, would a keef puck burn sort of evenly throughout, sort of like a hookah coal? I wonder how that would burn, or might be worth trying because I do have some hold screens that I plan to sort of put halfway through these. Might be worth a try. Holy shit! So this is crazy how high these get you. 21-year-old. I have asthma, pretty bad asthma, and I find a way to smoke. It's unfortunate that you can't. I found that smoking very small hits was my best way to manage smoking with asthma. Vaporizer, that's fine. Did he just roll a joint with a card? Now I know we're living in a simulation. Little does he know that the card rolling technique is the best way to roll your joint. Like, if I had a choice between rolling it by hand or rolling it with a card, I'd roll it with a card. it because it's just better. Here's a fun one. I learned this from you 10 years ago and still use it to this day. Yeah. I love reading those comments. Oh, that sucks. This guy can't get the card technique to work for him. Do I still smoke joints? Actually, no, I don't. I mean, I'll take a hit off of one every now and then, but for the last 6 years, I've been like 95% dabs. I really like smoking out of recyclers. They're my favorite. So since I smoked out of a recycler like um 9 years ago, or I think maybe 8 years ago, I've been obsessed with making recyclers and perfecting them to hit exactly how I want. And that's what this is right here. So I smoke out of recyclers almost exclusively in the oil. I don't smoke joints inside, so that also hampers my joint smoking potential because if I'm uh, sitting here, I'm just gonna smoke and chill. I don't want to have to go outside to do it, especially when it's minus 20 degrees out there. So, yeah, not so much joints anymore. What is the worst weed you have ever smoked? I have Saturday dry ice, old nuggets well, I mean, rolled into old tobacco might be your problem there. The worst weed I've ever smoked, I mean, probably some shit I got in Mexico, to be honest. You still show people the card rolling if they ask you how to roll. That's amazing, man. I do too. It's simply, I don't understand like people who struggle. And so many people have been like, oh, I can't roll my hands, just don't do it. And I'm like, try this. This is probably going to work. Reggie back in '08. Back in '08, I was smoking some pretty good stuff back then. Most of what I smoked was probably considered mids, but I had a few friends that hooked me up with like quarters and half ounces of really nice stuff whenever they got a bag of it. But the best weed I ever smoked probably was, I think it was 2006. I was working with a guy in Red Lobster, and I asked him if I could get some weed, and he brought me back to his house, and he showed me a bag of weed that when I opened it up, my memory at least says that it like shone, like it had a brightness to it, like kryptonite. I asked him what strain it was. He's like, I don't know. But I called it kryptonite, and this shit was amazing. It was definitely a sativa. Why don't I like vaping too much? Well, technically, dabbing is vaping. Uh, I used to vaporize with the volcano all the time. But when I found dabbing, it was just quicker, tastier, and much more of a punch to the face. And that's what I fell in love with the dabs was just like the bang, okay, I'm ready to go. Whereas vaping, takes a little bit more time to get it going. Even with the hash kettle, um, I get incredibly stoned off of it, but I still do plenty of dabs, even with the hash kettle. I mean, let's see, I'm putting like a gram or two through it every day, the hash kettle, but I'm still smoking a gram of oil every day too. The video was shot too well. Much easier showing that vid than trying to explain it. Oh, well, thank you. I honestly did maybe 10 or 12 how to use the card technique video, and I just got better and better at explaining it. Like right now, okay, let's see. Let's see. First, you grind your hash, and you take your paper and you pinch it in your finger with one back along there. You want to use your middle finger as a brace, and your thumb to hold it all in place. You place your stash evenly along there with your card. you evenly distribute it so there's a little bit more on one end than the other. Now with your card, you're going to cut over the top of the paper and push it into your index finger. And now while you press down, you grab the paper with your other fingers. And as you push down with the card, you pull up with your fingers. Now you gently slide the card out. Now, once the card is slid out, essentially the joint is already rolled. And all you need to do now is fold it together and lick the sticky, and bam, your joint is rolled. Hey, I still got it, even without the joint in my hand. I think that's pretty much the exact speech I've given a dozen times. I swear by the card. I busted my hand in a car wreck a few years back, and my fingers aren't as nimble as they used to be, and it helps. Man, that fucking sucks. When that happens, I call it Doctor Strange in your hand. I had a friend who Doctor Stranged his hand and hasn't blown glass in 4 years. Really, really sad. But I'm glad that the card technique has kept you smoking nicely rolled joints. Do you have to use your inhaler after a dab sesh? If long story short, yes. Uh, Long story long. Only when I haven't taken my Advair, which is the steroidal medication that strengthens my lungs. If I haven't taken that in a few days, I will notice that after a really big fat dab, I will find a little bit of restriction in my esophagus, or I think it's the esophagus in my throat, not my throat, my esophagus, and it's a little. I'm like, oh, I should take my inhaler, but sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. The first super high on weed. Did I call it my stash again? Oh, I was doing this speech. I don't call I like if I did a new video right now, I wouldn't call it stash. I would call it cannabis. Um, and I because but my speech, I was definitely just repeating my old speech, if you will, as it was in sort of my memory. The reason I called it stash back in the day was because YouTube was a little bit sensitive against cannabis content, and they would really age restrict it and limit the reach of it if they felt that it was promoting drug use. Germany, wicked. Here in Canada, legal weed has sort of been interesting to say the least. Um, I'm going to admit it, 95% of what I get is not legal weed. But because I just have friends that grow it, I grow it. We can grow 4 plants in our backyard. That's kind of the best thing. If you can grow weed in your backyard, I can grow weed every year. And even if I don't produce a lot of weed, I can go buy it from a friend and be like, no, I grew this. And like, it's just going to be a mess. So I haven't heard too much issues with people getting arrested for stupid amounts of weed lately. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go down and look for more comments down here. So I made a video, 6 types of screens for a glass bong or bubbler, and some guy goes, first off, not all is not a screen, so you can't count it as even one. So this should be five, not six. You're slow, sir. But then again, this is about weed. Oh. So wait, why am I still talking? Yeah, good fucking question. What a weird comment that one is. Oh, here's one. Oh, shit. I remember watching these videos when I was 15 years old. Just broke my left hand and I couldn't roll until I remembered what MastahRolla taught me. Thanks, man. Hey, wicked. But 15 years old? I mean, I kind of wish my viewers were a little bit older than that at the time. But no, nonetheless. Damn, my man rolled that shit with a card. My man's an OG roller. All right. Oh, anything over here? Nothing over here. Anyone still watching? Yeah, we got 15 people here. Yeah. All right. Hey, how to roll how to really roll a smokable joint with one hand. That was a really fun video that I did. It wasn't a very good joint, but I managed to roll it with one hand, so that was interesting. Um, I'm assuming the comments are just from the other people on YouTube. I don't think I'm live on my Facebook page. I don't have YouTube connected with my Facebook. I created my Facebook after I pretty much retired the channel. I consider me retiring the channel in about 2014, I think. Around then, that's when I stopped regularly posting videos. Let's get into that for a second. Why did I stop posting videos? Well, I was really getting into glass, and I had to choose where to invest some money. Because on YouTube, uh, I'll answer that question, Danto. Yes. On YouTube, when I started, it was just people sitting around like this right now talking to a camera. Basically unedited, or if it was edited, it was just chop cut throughout. They weren't putting on fancy graphics. They weren't having a professional editor to do some really crazy stuff with the editing and make it look really nice and high tech. They didn't have fancy backgrounds. They just had a fucking kitchen in their background, like I have now. But then, as time went on YouTube, around 2012, I really found that the other people's quality really started going up, and I had to decide whether I wanted to hire an editor and invest in a new studio and all of that type of stuff. And at the time, glass was really taking off, and I just said, I'm going to invest in the glass because, quite frankly, overall, YouTube only really made me a couple $100 in ad revenue over the course of a year, and maybe a few pretty much garbage products that I don't really use too often. So it just wasn't worth the investment for me. So I chose to basically retire from YouTube. I tried a few times to come back, but now I'm only going to be posting videos that I've put a little bit of time in editing, announcement videos, and things that I'm proud of, such as the hash kettle. I worked really hard on this, and we've sold now 100 of them in Ontario alone in the last couple days. So I'm really excited about this, and I wanted to bring it and show it to the people on YouTube. So that's why I made that. And then I had logged into my YouTube video or my YouTube account, and I was like, oh wow, there's a hell of a lot of comments here. Then I started replying to a few of them, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to do a video, post it up, and anyone who's interested in catching up with me can just watch this video. I believe I had one of your red dragons. You make a video for that also? I don't know about a red dragon. All right. All right. Is there a way to incorporate the hash kettle design into the recyclers you've made in the past? So one thing about the hash kettles is it requires a room for brewing the hash. Too small of a space, and the hash will actually go out. The cherry doesn't have enough oxygen to keep it lit. But I do have plans to essentially make one of these into an ash catcher. So instead of the noodle-like neck to draw off of, I'm going to attach a 14mm joint here. So it plugs onto a rig and creates a hash catcher. Now the hash catcher would be able to sit on a recycler or a bong and function the same way. So that's where I plan to go with it on a water device first, at least. The glass streams, I kind of enjoyed the glass streams. They're difficult to do because it takes my attention away from the glass and lowers the quality of glass that I do, and it's like, okay, well, do I want to entertain people or do I want to make glass? And it's just sort of really, I need to make good quality glass. I really like making my recyclers. I feel these are super good quality. They weigh a ton. They got good thick bases, good like wide bases. You could throw it. I have videos of me attaching two ash catchers for bongs on it, plus a banger, plus a 30-gram marble on the end. It sits like this far out and it's still balanced. Really sturdy devices. If you need a recycler, I definitely recommend getting one of mine. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. I'm saying that because I'm biased. Wait, yeah, I'm biased. I also make bongs. My bongs are nothing too special. Um, but you know, I think I make them 5 mil, and they got a good weight to them. I like the bell shape on the bottom, makes the stem angle really nice to sort of hit just past center base on it. And then some straight tubes as well. This one is a 3.2 mil straight tube with a removable stem. Pretty simple. These ones are like $1.80 Canadian. Nice and cheap, in my opinion. Alright, I think I'm reading comments from this vid. Mr. Allen, I'm reading comments from my my video response here as well. So I'm just going through my comments on my screen. I'm just going through comments on my YouTube page and reading those to fill in any blank space between questions from you guys here. Because there's some interesting stuff there. Right now, I only have IG. I had a web page for a while, but just only about 1% of my sales were coming through the web page, and it was costing me $30 a month. So I was just like, screw it, fuck it. So right now, it's purely Instagram. Hit me up with a follow. It's Master Glass instead of MastahRolla. Official Lucid Wicked Man, thanks for coming in to say hi. I definitely sell it international. International gets a little bit difficult on shipping, so I only guarantee that it will get to the border of your country. I don't guarantee that your country will allow it through and into your possession, and I don't offer refunds if your country confiscates it. So it's a little bit, I've only had one package in the last 5 years get confiscated. That was in New Zealand. I just sent one to Australia and it got through. But I put that disclaimer on them just because it is a risk. So it has to be your responsibility that your country will let it in. I don't know if I made a red dragon. I don't think that was mine. um, I rocked it first. I think Breaking Brad was 2000. I'm not too sure. It was around the same time, but I definitely didn't buy it with him in mind. I wanted to put my face or my I wanted to go in front of a camera, and at the time I knew my job would freak shit if they saw it. So I went to Eden Center and just walked around and found the biggest set of glasses I could find and um, the biggest hat I could find, and that was what I found, and that's what I went with. So here in Canada, you can grow 4 plants of your own. However, from my experience, I'm much better at blowing glass than growing cannabis. And what that means is that I get much better cannabis if I buy it from people who know what they're doing. So I grow my 4 plants and I get about an ounce off of them in total. And it's not very good weed. But then I'll go and buy a bag or two from friends of mine who actually know what they're doing. So when I do want to smoke that occasional joint, or if I have guests over who want to smoke a joint, we can roll one up with something that's high quality. The hash that I get is made by people who know how to make hash much better than I could ever make hash. So therefore, I'm going to just keep buying my hash because I can make glass better than I can make hash. So instead of spending time making shitty hash, I'm going to go make good glass and sell it for the good hash. In these BHO rosin days, good bubble hash is hard to come by. I want to make hash a comeback. Bring hash back. Really, I'm smoking hash because legacy friends of mine started a legal hash business here in Canada. And they asked me to collaborate with them. And I was like, okay, sure. And then I created this and they gave me some hash. And I was like, oh, I've never smoked hash like this before. This is actually really, really amazing. So here we are with the hash kettle. But with it, I do still smoke my BHO because as much as I love the hash, I still love the bam immediately soft to the side of the head, especially during the nighttime when I just want to come here, take a quick dab, and head back to bed. Yeah? All right, cool. All right, cool. I still have a quarter tank of gas if I want to work. Yeah, I can't lie. The Hashco hash, which is absolutely amazing, is quite expensive and is almost on par with the BHO I smoke, but for a very enjoyable experience. See, I would never buy the Hashco hash to smoke in any traditional method. I just wouldn't find the value behind it. However, smoking it in the new method, it's quite different and quite amazing. It's really changed my mind. Like I said in the video I posted yesterday, it really is similar to me. I had videos of me putting oil on bowls and putting it on joints, and I'm like, what the hell is the big deal with this? Why do people love oil so much? And then a friend of mine came over and threw a dab down on a hot plate skillet, a swing, and I was like, what the fuck did you just do to me? And I had almost a similar experience when I tried this. Yeah, well, it's one thing about almost anything in the world. If you start with low quality product, you're gonna end with low quality product. So the Hashco guys, they've been growing weed on the legacy market, which we call the black market. We've been growing cannabis on the legacy market for 20 years. They know how to grow the best weed. Then Canada came up with some regulations that they had to jump through, but they jumped through them, and now they're growing that same great weed, and then they're processing it the same way that they used to. Well, pretty much. They tweaked it a few ways just to appease the Canadian government, but they're still producing the same high-end hash that they used to. And now it's being sold legally in stores, which is really cool. Yeah, lacing a joint with diamonds or a little bit of oil in it throughout it really increases the THC potency, and you get a little bit higher off of it. But at the same point, I didn't understand like the major hype, because getting a little bit higher off of it is just like, okay, yeah. But when you do a dab at the right temperature, you just get so mind blown. The flavor profile, just everything is so much better than So I almost consider it wasting by putting it in the joint. Now, obviously, when I say wasting, it's not wasting it. If you enjoy it, it's not wasting, right? It's just not getting the full potential out of it. Uh, I very rarely dab with a torch. Um, I usually will use my electric e-nail, so it's always hot, always ready to go. But yeah, there's definitely some crackhead tendencies when you sort of look at it, especially if you're doing it with like a dry pipe or something. But it is what it is. I love dabbing too much to fall to that peer pressure. A Neurokalma and a mini recycler. Ooh, your one of your first pieces with color. Wow. All right. Oh, now I'm really curious. That's fucking wicked. Little blue circle and the mini cycler. That's awesome, man. Haha, thanks. I like the full flower effects. Don't quite get it from Mr. Allen Ninja. I can understand that now. For the longest time, I would sort of be like, I won't disagree with you, but I don't really understand, and I won't agree with you. So it's like middle ground. But since smoking the hash, um, I do feel, and smoking a lot of hash, I do feel a different kind of high from it. And so I would agree with you that smoking uh, more of a full plant experience is very different than taking a dab. Um, maybe maybe loosely like drinking a beer versus taking a shot. Uh, loosely based, like you can it's much more easy to enjoy a beer and the flavor profiles and whatever else it comes with. Whereas taking a shot is just like, oh, okay, I'm done, woohoo, let's go. I used to watch you way back in the day when you promoted the store on Young. Glad you're still going in the game. Oh yeah, yeah. Fuck the store on Young. Glad they closed. Fuck 'em. Hey, someone just messaged me on Instagram, and I think it's a pic. Hey, you just said I sent you a pic on Instagram. Wicked. Can't wait to see that one. I'm gonna post it on Instagram because I love seeing my old work. Because as proud of it as proud of it was as proud of it I was back in the day. Looking back on it, I'm like, wow, I've come a long way in my skills, and I really appreciate everybody who supported me throughout the years. And I mean, it's still an ongoing process. I make a piece today, and in 2 years from now, my work is going to be better, and I'm going to look back at what I made today and be like, oh, really could have done that better. But at the time, I couldn't. So my entire process in glass blowing is to make it as good as I can today. And that's the best I can do. Uh, oh, Master, how do you feel about... Huh, all right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So how do I feel about legal OCS stores? I work with them. I'm officially uh, in collaboration with the Hash Corporation, which is run by a team of legacy to legal uh, advocates who worked for the market to become legalized, and then they took all the steps to become part of the legal market. A fantastic group of people, and they are making great product, and I couldn't be happier to be working with them. As much as I like and appreciate the legacy market, I will always support the legacy market for as long as it exists. But I'm not naive enough to believe that in the next 5 to 10 years, the legal market is going to take over as the prominent market, and I want to be there from the beginning. So I'm very happy to work with legal to legacy teams. There are definitely some legal companies that I do not support. There's definitely companies that I think are doing very bad stuff and producing uh, bad quality cannabis products, and it's a shame. But I'm hoping that people like the Hash Co. who are doing it right will push through, and in the next 5 to 10 years, the strong, reliable, and honest companies are going to still be there while those shitty ones have disappeared. So that's how I feel about the legal OCS market currently. My thoughts and opinions are forever changing on them because I'm still learning lots, and lots of more people are joining it from legacy, and the more people from legacy that join the legal market, the stronger and better it will become in the future. I don't know anything about the UK market. Unfortunately, since I stopped posting videos regularly, I generally have stopped keeping up with cannabis news in other countries. Um, so tell me about it, and I'll read the comments on live here. Let's see if there's any comments here. Who's seen my 22-foot bong video? I think that was one of my best videos I've ever done. Kind of sad that it's only gotten 1,700 views. That's what happens when you don't post videos very often. But I believe that that might be the tallest single piece borosilicate bong in the world, and I'm quite proud of that. Yeah. It's 22 feet long, so I had to stand on top of my 12-foot ceiling of my uh, glass shop to hit it on an angle. I loved it. Fucking beautiful. I still have it. Next year, I'm going to be pulling it out and hitting it from in a tree. Uh, Ilya, hitting a dab rig similar to hitting a dab cartridge pen. I would say the difference is um, uh, hitting a dab rig is like hitting a bong, and taking a rip off of a cartridge pen is like taking a draw off of a joint. They're not very similar in the way that you're going to feel after you do it. Um, in order to feel similar, in my opinion, I need to do, 5 or 6 draws off of the pen. Yeah, so yeah, a rig is much better than the pen. Um, like essentially, in a bong hit, you're gonna get a full, massive single hit. Oh yeah, that's great. Whereas a pen, gonna get a similar to feeling as one pull off of a joint. So for me to get a full effect, get a similar effect from a bong to a joint, I have to smoke the whole joint. So that's the comparison that I make in my head. Jerome Baker has a 24-foot bong. I haven't found a picture of it intact in one piece, and there is not a single video that I've found of somebody taking a bong toke out of it. So my bong is the tallest functional bong in the world. Am I Are you an independent contractor? Any legal reasons not to work with others? Oh, the contract I have with Hashco is very, very light. There is no commitment. I'm uh, if I started selling hash kettles directly right now, they would be really displeased with me, and it might cancel the agreement we have between us, and I would lose very dear friends of mine. So that's not going to happen. But I am an independent contractor, and there are no legal reasons not to work with other people. There are moral reasons I won't work with other people on the hash kettle. Michiganja, wicked man. Happy smoking down there. Oh. Let's put some more hash in. Look at this hash noodle. Mm-mm. So after I started smoking about 2 grams a day through my kettle, I decided rolling them in parchment paper just was not time efficient. So I bought myself a $35 pasta roller off of Amazon, and I use that to make my noodles now. And I just put about 2 grams through it in the morning, and it makes me noodles for a day. What do you mean? Yeah, not going to steal other current products. Yeah, I respect. I have too much integrity to do that kind of thing. Now, in 3, 4, 5 months, when they've sold as many as they're going to sell, there's nothing stopping me from opening up and selling to other markets, especially that are sort of independent and removed from the OCS market. Um, like if someone from the US was like, "Hey, I want to order 20 of those," in a month or two, I would probably fill that, and it would not have the Hashco gold sale sticker on it, obviously. And I might design it slightly differently to differentiate them, but something like that. But I really like Hashco, so I'm going to work with them as long as they're going to keep paying me. Holy shit, I've been talking for an hour now. All right, let's finish this up. Any other questions here? Anything anyone want to say? Let's see if there's any interesting comments right here. So with the 22-foot bong record, someone's like, someone should call Guinness. I checked that out a long time ago, and unfortunately, Guinness said, we don't support anything drug related. Whoa, that's crazy. All right. Oh, so this worm was too soft. All right. All right. So before we leave, I'm going to give a little demonstration on how my hash kettle works. First, I'm just going to remove all the ashes that I made while making this video. Right now, hash kettles are exclusively available through OCS retailers. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm constantly posting them. They are selling them online, so you don't have to go into their store to buy them. They will ship them to you. Um, all right, so the hash kettle right here is two pieces. One is a lid and one is the body. The body has this rod through it. So what you're doing is, I'm going to do a little one this time because I'm fucking baked as shit. Oh, focus. All right. So you take your hash snake or worm and you fold it into a U shape. Now, you just light each end quickly and blow them out. As you can see, they're both cherried. And now I'm going to just take this hash worm and drop it down onto that bar right there. And as you can see, it's brewing up. And then when I put the lid on, it fills up with your hash. And that's how the hash kettle functions. The I innovated this. I did not invent it. So right now, there's many ways to enjoy this. One reason I'm hesitant to make one that is filtered through the water is because I'm worried about the hash going stale. The longer I sit here and talk, the staler the smoke is going. So what I like to do is essentially use it like a pipe, and right now is when I would be inhaling it. Just as it's starting to sort of fill up with smoke. So if you allow the smoke to sit in there, yes, it will go stale. But you can evacuate it as often as you'd like. Kevin, yes, I used to live in Toronto, but now I'm in the beautiful north of Kingston with 10 acres of amazing land. Fuck yeah. Hey, thanks, man. Um, I attribute it to Kingston's outdoor weather. I no longer live in a city, much more relaxed, much more chill lifestyle here. And glass is really doing great for me right now, so quite enjoying life. Where's Mastah? Mastah's in Ontario, north of Kingston. I hope to see some more videos from you. Your presence is super chill, and I'd be cool to see you around more, but I understand if making videos. Um, Making good videos gets in the way. I can make a lot of shitty videos, but I like to make something I'm proud of, and I'm really proud of my glass. So, what would be ideal is if I was able to find an intern, somebody I could pay minimum wage. I know it's minimum wage that would want to just follow me around and record what I'm doing while I'm working, and then edit it and post it into videos. That would be fantastic. I'd love to have someone around in my shop just recording me while I work, but it's also a chaotic work schedule, so it's hard to sync up and create all of those plans. Thank you, medical station. As far as we're concerned, this is innovating the hash market as much as Thai skillets innovated the dab market. All right, so I'm gonna end it right there, guys. I had tons of fun chatting with all of you guys. I mean, the chat's been going great. Lots of comments coming through. And I spent an hour and 10 minutes here with you guys. So, and it didn't feel like that. Really happy to see you all. I got a couple of recycle. Right now, I'm not making anything but the kettles, but I got a couple of recyclers available, and I got a couple of bongs available. So if you didn't need some glass, follow me on Instagram at MastahGlass, and uh, we can talk and see if I got something for you, or wait a couple more weeks or months until I'm finished filling the orders for these, and be happy to make you something. So I'll check all the IG messages. If you're from the live stream, just mention you're from the live stream so I can sort of connect two and two together, you know. And thanks so much for coming. Cheers, guys. Have a good night. And of course, happy smoking.